In this tutorial, we are going to cover solid primitives in Fusion. Now, this is something that I have not used a lot, but I think it can come in handy because it is so fast. So let's jump over to Fusion right now and walk through this. So these solid primitives are located under the Create tab here. If you keep scrolling down, you see the box, cylinder, sphere, torus, coil, and pipe. Now, these are basically, you can almost think of them as shortcuts or just very quick ways to create each of these shapes. So let's start with the box. You're going to need to create or select a surface, create a sketch. Real quick, you can dimension it however you like, and then you extrude and you have a box. So essentially, it's just a very quick way to make that shape. And down in your feature tree here, you can see it's called Box Primitive 1. You can double click that and edit the height of it. You can also edit on the side here in the edit feature, the length. So let's make that 5 and the width 6. Okay. And so in just literally seconds, you have a box of whatever size you want. And in a similar fashion, you can do the same thing with the cylinder. Click your surface, center of your circle, and then extrude it out, and you have a cylinder. So it's pretty fast, actually incredibly fast. It's not something I've used a lot, but I could see how this could come in handy. Let's try the sphere. This one is a bit different. Select a plane and then select a point, and then it creates a sphere centered at that point. You can drag it out and make it larger. Here you can control the diameter and also the operation. And so the operation is actually a pretty interesting feature. So we can cancel out of that. Let's go back to the box, click the surface. Let's make something here just to demonstrate this. Okay, let's go back to the sphere. Let's click a plane and a point. And here you can see the operation is set to cut, and you can actually do a pretty nice spherical cut out of this box, which is a very quick way to model something like that. Okay, let's delete these and keep going through. The next one is the torus, very similar here. Get reoriented, click a surface, create a circle, and then very quickly you have a torus. Let's make sure this actually has a value. This is a very quick way I could see you making O-rings, or maybe if for some reason you wanted to model a donut. Anything like that, it is a very quick way to make it. Okay, very simple. Let's keep going. This next one is a coil. And this one I am actually probably the most excited about. Let's click a surface. You can click the size of the diameter that you want. That is the center diameter of this. So it's not the ID or the OD. And then you have all these parameters on the right here. You can update your diameter. Let's make this pretty big. Let's go 12. How many revolutions do you want? Well, let's change the height first. Let's make that also 12. And let's do 12 revolutions. So you can see we're making this massive coil very quickly and easily. You can change the shape of the section. You can make it square if you would like. You can change the size of this section. You want to make that smaller. Look at that. What else can you do with this? You can also change where you want the section position to be relative to the circle that you drew initially. You can change the angle. So if you wanted it to be angled out, like something like I'm showing right here. Very quick, very easy. Obviously, springs are the first thing that comes to mind here, but actually quite a few applications for this. Okay, let's try another one. The other one is the pipe. So this one actually requires a sketch. So let's create a sketch first. Let's Let's see. Let's do a spline. Okay. There, and then let's also add a normal line with some hard angles on it, just to see how it handles stuff like this. Okay, so there's our random sketch. We'll go back in here, go to pipe. You can select your path first, and you can see it creates a pipe that follows that. It can be hollow if you want. Right here, you can see it says hollow. You can get rid of that if you want a solid wire or whatever you may be designing, but it makes sense to have it hollow. You can change your wall thickness, and then let's see what else. You can change your section as well. You can make it square, which is very cool. Let's hit OK, and it even handles the hard angles on here very well. So if we go to inspect, section analysis, click on that plane, you can see it just follows those sharp angles or the curved angles, however you want to design this pipe. So those are the solid primitive features. The box, cylinder, sphere, torus, coil, and pipe. Again, this is something I have not utilized very much as of yet in my designs, but I can see how this would allow you just to very quickly model up some shapes, and depending on what you're working on, be very useful and very efficient. Okay, that is it for this tutorial. As always, if you found this helpful, please subscribe to the channel. That is the best way to support it. And I will leave it there for today. Make sure to stay tuned for more tutorials coming out soon.